Okay, now let's try to reproduce the other use case where we will try to cross the query cost more than 10,000. And in order to reproduce that, for me it is very simple in this use case where I'll be simply removing one of the condition where it will perform the full table scan on multiple entities, and automatically the cost will bump up. But in reality, will we face such kind of issue? Possibly yes, because when we are working on a complex query, there is a high possibility that either we miss to include certain conditions as part of the query, or if you have included certain columns as part of the condition, but that column doesn't appear or added as part of the index. So it is very much possible, right? And to figure that out, if it is falling under which case, then we have to definitely perform the explain statement to analyze that, right? So let's look at the use case. So what I'm going to do is I'll simply comment this out and I'll run the output of this query. And if you see, I'm getting 10,000 rows, right? And I'm intended to get only 2996 records. Now, when I'm going to perform the explain analysis on this specific query, then of course our query cost should get increased, and that is what we are seeing it here, right? Now, if you look at here, it's like query cost has changed from something like 1500 to 3900, right? And definitely it's not a good sign because there are two table which is doing a full table scan. Okay, and if you see here now it has changed from like nested loop to hash join, right? And finally it produces like almost 369k record, right? And which we are not looking for. So either we are doing accidentally or not. How will we do that? How will we evaluate that? To evaluate such thing, we have to have explain statement gets executed before we move that or deploy that into any of the environment, right? And this as a good practice, I would definitely recommend to have the explain statement executed, analyzed, and if you are confident and don't see any further change, then only deploy that change to the higher environment. Otherwise, my recommendation would be, if you're confident on the output, well and good. You see that your query is quite complex, perform the explain statement analysis on that query and make sure that everything is in place, and then only move to the next part, right? As you see here, just like removing one condition has a humongous impact on the query cost, right? And now I'm pretty confident that you can easily analyze or understand how this, like why full table scan on this, right? Why 1110 records here instead of picking the order details table, sorry, orders table, why it is picking products table, right? Then similarly, how for each stages or similarly on each stages how the iteration happens, and as a result why number of records are keep increasing, and as a result at the end we have more number of records which we are not looking for, right? So by doing this analysis using explain statement, you'll get this kind of output and you can easily understand and fix it. So to summarize, if we have more number of query cost in terms of absolute number, then definitely there's a chances of optimizing that query. And how will you do that? Of course, by analyzing this output, right? So in this specific use case, now if I change that, of course, I'll be seeing the expected outcome. See, now it has reduced to 2996. If you change that to current statement, see now it has like again 1577. You can see the impact, right? It is definitely a very huge impact. And this is one of my favorite interview questions as well. Like, what are the techniques you are familiar with to analyze your query performance?